Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about WandaVision Episode 6, all new Halloween Spooktacular, because this is a Halloween themed episode. How cool is that? I don't think we ever got anything Halloween-ish in the MCU yet. The biggest one we ever got, I guess, was a holiday themed movie was for the MCU was Iron Man 3 when it took place on Christmas. I don't think Agents of Shield or any of the Netflix shows ever took place on Christmas or New Year's. So with that being said, let's get right into this. So this episode was clearly very much inspired by Malcolm in the Middle. I'm going to admit I didn't watch Malcolm in the Middle very often or much, but I was already quickly versed in I did see a little bit of it, and so when the show was already right from the opening using some influences, it caught on right away what they were using as their influence. And yes, Malcolm in the Middle was trending practically all day today on my Twitter feed. So then we are introduced to Pietro, this new version of Pietro. Although, is he a new version, or is he the old version? Because they're kind of hinting throughout this entire episode that he has some sort of the memories of the original Pietro, but they're very fuzzy. He admits that. But I'll get into a little bit of that later through this review. Quicksilver mentions to Wanda that she might be suppressing her memories. I thought that was an interesting quote when they were talking a little bit. Vision decides to go out for Halloween by himself, you know, to kind of maybe give each other a little bit of space. And I really did like the breaking of the fourth wall with the kids in this episode. That was very much Malcolm in the Middle based, for sure. And I didn't know what to expect from the kids in this episode, but there was some a couple of surprises. First of all, their costumes in this episode. All the major characters in this episode wear costumes. Wanda, Vision, even Pietro, and the kids all wear their comic book based costumes, because if you know, the kids. Even the kids are based off actual comic book characters. Tommy and Billy are, I forgot what their superhero names in the comics are, but I did hear, I think it's Speed and Wiccan, if I'm correct. Someone will correct me in the comment section below, someone who's more of a comic book expert than I am. So I thought it was, but I did see their pictures from other videos and such online. So I was already familiar when I saw their costumes. I was like, oh, cool, man. Everybody has their like comic book accurate costumes in this episode. That's pretty sweet. So once Vision goes out, I have the notes written here. So forgive me for looking down once in a while, guys. All the characters are dressed up. Later, we get back to Hayward and the gang. So Hayward is acting like an asshole and decides to sideline Monica, Jimmy, and Darcy. He even kind of threatens Darcy at one point and says, do you work for me? And Darcy, you know, she gives her smarky remark. And Monica stands up for her, but he sidelines the three of them. So that's when the three of them decide to go, okay, well, if he's not going to sideline us, we're going to do our own, you know, work on this case, which is, you know, the three of them. I think I said this last week. I love the three of these characters together. They have been making such a great team. And I know I'm not the only one out there that's thinking this way. I think everyone agrees that we would love a spin-off series with just these three, like, investigating weird events in the Marvel universe. It would just be awesome. Their chemistry together, the three of them, has been phenomenal, and I hope they pop up in other things. And I know Kat Dennings has said already that she might be popping up in a couple more places. I hope it's not just the What If series. I'm actually hoping she pops up in like what's the next Falcon Winter Soldier? Maybe not that one, but like maybe in the Loki series she shows up. But it has to be with Monica and Jimmy, man. The three of them together are just, I'm loving this dynamic. So as the three of them go off, Darcy, they manage to escape. Pietro, meanwhile, back in the thing, while they're, in the Hex, as they call it, Pietro remembers that he was shot. Yeah, and his memories are funny. I did like the scene where they did show when they were talking about how they used to go out for Halloween, and they said that's not how I remember, and they show like a little quick flashback to when they were in their country growing up. What was it called again? Sokovia. When they were growing up in Sokovia, they showed them as little kids. I didn't notice the first time, but someone pointed it out to me that Wanda was dressed up as Mantis and Quicksilver was dressed up as Nick Fury. I thought, now knowing that, it seemed really funny to me, but odd at the same time. It's like, wait a minute, how? They wouldn't know Nick Fury yet back then, and I'm sure he didn't have the eye patch back then either. Maybe he did, right? Well, no, because Captain Marvel took place in 1995, so he wouldn't even have the eye patch yet. I'm sure when they were kids, that was just like he was just starting to get the eye patch or something. But yeah, that was a little funny moment. We also learned that Tommy and Billy have powers. That's where they start showing off their powers, and I did like the little part where Quicksilver, Pietro, and Tommy were like zigging around, pulling pranks on people, and Herb is just like on his intercom or on his walkie-talkie thingy, reporting what this is happening. What someone's using silly string now. What? I thought that was a little funny. Again, Herb acts like he knows something's going on, right? And it did make me wonder again if Herb is somehow in on this. Maybe not. I'm starting to wonder early on when they showed the cuts in the earlier episodes, if that was Wanda editing some of the things from us in the beginning and making us confused. And now that we've seen Sword's point of view in episode 4, that now we're seeing how it actually works. So when Wanda edits something, now we're actually seeing how that looked, right? I don't know exactly if that's right, but it could be. Because we haven't seen her edit in the show anymore. Now that we have been fully integrated into these characters' lives and understanding them a lot more. So it did make me wonder about that. Was there something else in that scene I should mention? I don't remember now, but let's move on. Jimmy notices that Hayward has been monitoring Vision's movements, and that people inside at the edge of Wanda's hex are not moving. And we see that later, that Vision later goes to that edge of the hex to investigate for himself what's going on. And we do see people not moving. As a matter of fact, there was that one woman who he asked, hey, are you okay? And she starts, we see a tear start coming from her. Was she the woman that was doing the laundry and she was just like repeating herself over and over? I think that was the woman. I don't remember now, but I did think that was it was a little spooky, as the title of the episode suggests. Vision then finds Agnes parked outside the edge of the hex near Ellis Avenue and Rolling Hills. And that's where things start to get a little confusing with Agnes, because if you followed me, I think Agnes is in on this. Maybe it's because of the whole Agatha Harkness speculation that people were thinking from the beginning. But I'm wondering now, is she as bad as I was presuming that she was? Or is she someone that's maybe helping Wanda do all this? Who knows? because Vision does touch her head like she did to Norm, like he did to Norm in the previous episode, and she starts recalling all this information. Like, she tells him, "You're an Avenger. Are you here to help us?" And Vision doesn't even remember that he's an Avenger. He's like, "What's an Avenger? I don't even know what that is." And she starts like laughing, right? And at first glance, I thought, oh, maybe she's like laughing because she's starting to break or something. But that laugh did not sound like I'm losing control of myself kind of laugh. That sounded like an evil witch cackle. So it did make me say to myself, I still think Agnes is still part of this somehow, and I think she knows more. I think she was lying to Vision. I think when Vision touched her head and she acted like, oh, she was out of this trance, I don't think she was out of the trance. I don't think she's in a trance at all. And I don't think Vision did anything to her, and I think she was just playing along to get Vision to cause some trouble for Wanda. Who knows? I don't know what her motivation is by this point. So maybe I'm wrong, and maybe she is somebody that's in this bubble that is so confused and she doesn't know what's going on, and maybe that was the real her, and maybe she just has a witch's laugh. Maybe she was trying to get into character because she was dressed as a witch for Halloween. But why was she parked at the edge of the hex? It looked like to me that she was thinking of getting out of the bubble. So I don't know, man. It's weird. So after we see Agnes and all that happens, Monica is going to meet her guy over at the bridge. She says to Jimmy and Darcy that she's gonna go and meet the guy that she was talking about. She referenced the guy in the previous episode. We don't know if it's a guy or if she's just using that as a way to say, I gotta go meet this person. But yeah, in the previous episode, she said she knew an aerospace engineer, and lots of people already started speculating that it could be Reed Richards. Who else could it be? There's a lot of characters, a lot of people. I heard a new theory today that it could be Shuri, and I mean, yeah, that's a possibility if the guy she was referring to. I'm gonna speculate that it's somebody we know, but I could be totally wrong. It could be someone totally new that we're not expecting. But I have no guesses on that one. I'm not the most versed person when it comes to comics. Would it be Reed Richards? If it was Reed Richards, I'd be like, holy shit, Fantastic Four is coming. Any X-Men characters? I don't know. Can Beast, Hank McCoy be that? I don't know. I don't really have much speculation on that. And if it's somebody in the MCU, then Shuri sounds great to me, personally. She is very smart, so she could manage to help out on that. Oh, and I did hear Dr. Selvig from the Thor movies, played by Stellan Skarsgård. I think there was another YouTube channel that I heard theorize him, and but then I think they would have given that to Darcy to mention, to have him as a source for Darcy instead of Monica. But you'll never know. Maybe somehow Monica managed to meet Dr. Selvig also. We'll see next week. It looks like next week we're going to meet who this person is. I'm excited to find out. So, finally, back in the Hex, Pietro mentions to Wanda how when they were kids, Wanda... What? Oh, sorry guys. Yeah, Pietro mentions to Wanda how she asks her, how did you hide the kids? So it shows that he actually maybe knows a little bit more than what's going on. How did he know? That's what I want to know. Like, wait a minute, wait, you just got back here. You just came back to life. Apparently, you're telling me you are the Pietro that we did know. And now all of a sudden you're asking it, how did she hide the kids, when last week Vision was trying to figure that out, if the kids were hidden by Wanda. Why were they hidden by Wanda? Who the hell knows? But it looks like the kids are safe and sound, and Pietro even says that, hey, how did you, it looks like you kept them safe and they're all good. And she didn't really answer, and but she did ask, so you don't think it's wrong what I did with the kids? And Pietro's like, no, I think you did okay. So I don't know, there's something fishy going on with Pietro being okay with Wanda taking kids hostage. Yeah, that might be a no-no. We then later, for a second after they're talking a little bit, Wanda gets a little distracted, and when she turns around, she sees Pietro as, like he got shot, like he was killed, dead. And I'm starting to wonder, because she saw Vision the same way, similarly, how with the hole in his head, that she lost concentration for a minute. And I'm wondering if what he said earlier on is true, if this is her way of trying to suppress some bad memories. And when she's not focused, she sees the tragedies in her life. And this whole hex is her way of getting rid of all the bad memories and only making good ones now. She's trying to get rid of all her bad memories and trying to create new ones that are happier to her, a happier life that's not real. Because she doesn't want to come to terms with reality of how much she lost. Because she can't handle it. And, maybe Thor should come and have a little talk with her, because hell, he lost all of Asgard and his father and his mother and his brother. So it's like both of them have a lot to talk about that they could be like, bonding over. But Thor is not here, so what can we do? That should be their like buddy system, talking to people who have similar tragedies in their lives. Then after that, we see Vision getting out of the hex, but something is trying to suck him back in. It looks like the hex tries to suck him back in, and we see all of Hayward and his men like go to the hex, to the wall, and they're just like watching. They're not even helping him. And Darcy is the one that says, "Hey, come on, we gotta help him." Meanwhile, back in the hex, we see that Billy and Tommy, Billy starts sensing Vision. He starts hearing him and sensing him that he's in trouble. And so Billy and Tommy go and tell Wanda that something's happening. And I did think it was interesting that Pietro says, come on, it's not like you can't save him from dying a second time, or something like to that effect. And Wanda gets pissed and blasts him away and knocks him out. It makes me wonder again, how did he know that Vision was once dead? Because Pietro wasn't around during Infinity Wars. So he's showing, to me, it shows that Pietro knows even more what happened when he was even gone. First, the fact that how she hid the children, and now he is aware that Vision once died. That's interesting to note. Another thing, so Wanda goes and decides to save Vision, and she realizes that Hayward and his men are all there. So she's had enough, and what does she do? She expands the hex. So the hex starts growing and starts getting all of Hayward's men into the hex, and tries to get him too, but he was lucky and he escaped. Darcy is now in the hex. We saw her get sucked in because she stayed behind while Jimmy and Monica went to go meet Monica's, I guess, aerospace engineer. And she freezes everyone. Everyone is in the hex now. Some of the agents of S.W.O.R.D. get turned into clowns. Some of their helicopters are turned into those hot air balloons, stuff like that. kind of like Wanda making them like, yeah, you guys are like clowns to me by this point. So, and then the episode ends there, and we're all set for next week. So, guys, this was a crazy episode. Every episode is getting crazier and crazier by this point, and I am loving it. I'll admit this is not my favorite episode of the series. I think I liked last week's episode a lot more. I'm hearing a lot of people really loving this one too, and I loved it still. I thought it was a great episode. It's just not my favorite episode, but holy shit, things are getting crazier and crazier with each passing moment. So that's all I can say, guys. Leave down your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave down your theories. Like I said, I don't really have a theory on who Monica and Jimmy are going to go meet, because I'm not... It could be anyone. I'd love it if it turned out to be Reed Richards. Some people are predicting Victor Von Doom. Maybe, sure. I think it's going to be someone we know. I just don't know who. If I had to decide, sure, Shuri sounds like a reasonable bet. For all we know, maybe it could be, I don't know. Would Hank Pym land on Aerospace Engineer? I don't know. Does he work on that stuff? I know he works on the quantum realm and stuff like that too, but I mean, maybe he could fit into that field, Hank Pym. It would be cool to see Michael Douglas pop up in WandaVision. I think he's great as Hank Pym. Yeah, there's not really much I can add to who else I think. X-Men related, I guess Hank McCoy, Beast, would be the best option, maybe. So yeah, leave down your theories below on anything that I might not have talked about or that I did talk about. Tell me your thoughts on this episode, guys. I want to communicate more with people who are watching WandaVision. I hope most of you are, and if so, leave down your thoughts in the comment section below and interact with me about it. I want to hear what people are saying on my subscribers, you know. With that being said, guys, I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, especially if you are not subscribed. Then I wanna get more of those MCU fans out there. You know, I need more MCU fans on my channel. And with that being said, everybody, take care.